Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe Con Leche. We hope you had an absolutely fabulous weekend. And I just have to say, before I even introduce myself, Kathy was on as this was pulling up onto my phone on Facebook. Kathy Ruiz was already on, and then Tiffany right behind her. So
good morning.
And neck the two of them. So we've got to definitely reward them. I think it's awesome. Tiffany, man, you just like get in there. Good morning, Milagros is on. So good morning, everyone. I am the Badass Buddha, Dr. Lori Monaco, coming to you from a beautiful, sunny Southern Connecticut. It is 38 degrees. Yesterday was about 60, which was absolutely fabulous, but it was rainy in the early part of the day, but I didn't care. And then tomorrow we're supposed to have snow. Could you really?
No way.
Right when you're coming up, Gladiator Guru. So, yep. So anyway, good morning. I am one of the dynamic duo here at Viva Cafe Con Leche. I am a teacher, speaker, coach specializing in mindfulness practice. I also specialize in toxic relationships and narcissistic relationships and narcissistic abuse. I am also a workshop facilitator through many channels, corporate healthcare, come in and do my thing and teach mindfulness. I'm also a published author, and I'm a chiropractor. I think I covered every base, I'm pretty sure, but it's not as many as my partner has. She's got lots and lots.
And still nothing. Hola, buenos días, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita. I'm trying to fix my light so I can be a little bright, but it doesn't seem to be working. Good morning, Kathy, Milagros, Tiffany, Chanel. Buenos días. Happy International Women's Day. The whole month. Who am I? Soy la Margarita, la flor. ¿Verdad? Spiritual coach, creative healing coach. Put them together. You got me. Poet, writer, author, artist. Those are my fun things to do. You know. Latina coffee roaster. Ooh, let's hear it for Naturally Organic.
Yes.
Can't wait. Soon to be owner of Abuelita's Authentic Cafe Con Leche cart, coffee cart. So,
and that you have to go down to Florida for.
Yes. So yes, happy International Women's Month.
Well, today's the day, International Women's Day.
And I'm saying the whole month. I'm getting it out the way for the rest.
And then Women's History Month.
Because what happens?
I don't know what happens.
Should be, I mean,
every month should be. Yeah, of course, we celebrate every month.
Yeah,
every Tuesday and Thursday.
We got, and that's the problem with a lot of things we forget. Like I don't like Valentine's Day, Easter. I ain't got no little kids, you know. So hot Mother's Day, none of that really ever excited me because that's something that should be done every day, celebrated every day. But then that's just me. People like February to come around, and you have all these babies in December and shit. So good morning. I want to bring back what we started with what's in your taza de café this morning. So if you can tell us what it is you're drinking, whether it's tea or coffee, you know, what's in your mug, what's in your taza. There was something else, Badass Buddha, we were going to say, besides our mantra. So tell us what's your taza de café. We're trying to come up with some exciting things for the tribe. So we'll be back with you. Lemon ginger tea. My throat is not happy this morning. Oh, bendito. Bendito.
Oh. Well, so maybe while they're doing that, I'm drinking your coffee. I have your fabulous coffee. And remember, Gladiator Guru's coffee is for sale. You just have to place your order. Just let her know. You can message her. And once she gets her cart going, not her like actual cart there, I mean like her cart on her website, then you can order from there. Good morning to Bernie. Good morning, Bernie's in the house. Tata Rodriguez is here. We
I love
also
the way you
have
said that. Hola, Tata. Hey, Bernie.
Yulitza's here. Good morning. And Liliana Reyes, good morning.
Buenos dias, Lily.
Happy that you're all here. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to tighten things a little bit. We were going over some stuff. We keep missing out on things and saying certain things. So we want to kind of tighten things a little bit and make sure that we cover everything that we want to cover. So we want to give that chance to talk about coffee. That's what this whole thing was started on. You know, it's having a conversation over a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, if you have to drink tea, that's totally fine. But it's just having the conversation with that warm mug of something, so that you open yourself up, you take your breath for the day, you feel refreshed, and we open ourselves up to possibilities and potentials and conversations and courage. And that's the whole point, you know, is to inspire you and for you to inspire us and the rest of the tribe. So as you write what you're putting in there. So Edith's is saying she's drinking her Bustela with her monk fruit and tablespoon of lactated milk. She's very specific this morning. So yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that, because you know what? We forget. I every Tuesday I always said something about coffee, and that was the one thing Badass Buddha and I was talking about. And I'm really disappointed that I'm not doing it every Tuesday. So we're getting back on the ball with our. You need to tell us what you're drinking both days of the week, right? I am drinking Café Pilon. I'm drinking Café Pilon with let's do Iris with a tablespoon of monk fruit, if less, and the unsweetened coconut milk. That's me. So what is Café con Leche? It is the warmth on a brisk morning for you Northerners. It is the comfort of chasing away the loneliness. Café con Leche is a certainty of a productive day, a love of self. After the first sip that whispers, you got this. Café con Leche is a self-gift of arrival, first thing in the morning, a celebration of the break of day, movement of dreams in vibrant colors of success and accomplishments. ¿Qué es Café con Leche? Viva la vida.
That's right. Or as they say in Costa Rica, pura vida, which I love, by the way. That's how I want to live my life. Good morning, Janine. Janine is in the house this morning. And Connie's on. Good morning, Connie. Happy to have you.
Connie Gore from Massachusetts. I want to say I was a former co-worker of mine here in Florida. Good morning, Connie. You know, like I'm a coffee lover. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a coffee lover. I'm a 5 cup a day, first thing in the morning, last thing in the evening. If I do one in between, I'm having an okay day. If I have 2 more in between, I'm having a phenomenal day. So I say all this to say that I'll be late, but I'm popping up like slut magic with my mug in hand. I would be late to work. I mean, if I ran overtime, I could not leave my house without my cafe, call whatever it is. But, you know, and I would get to work and then somebody's like, oh, I got a headache. I woke up late. I didn't have my coffee this morning. And I'm like, how does that even fit with you putting your panties on? Like, we go hand in hand. You come drawless or something, or, you know, because that's my love. That's my love affair with coffee. Like, oh, I'm already late. Might as well brew the coffee while I'm washing my ass before I'm getting dressed. And because there's always time to make time. But what you know is going to make you stay focused in the day. Yeah, we're late, but you know what? As we're rushing, let's multitask. And that's how I start my day. Even Lori, I'm like, I'm on my
way. So when you're washing your ass and brewing the coffee, did you wash your hands before you started brewing the coffee?
No.
Or does that add to its flavor?
I'm washing my ass. By the time I come out, everything is so 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 clean. So
Just
yeah,
the visual really is just spectacular.
it is. My ass, my coffee.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you're the only one drinking it, that's absolutely true. It's a routine. Some people, their routine is to get in their car, they go to work and they stop and get their coffee. My routine for years now has been to just get up and brew my coffee because, number one, it got too damn expensive. And number two, I don't like Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And that's really the only quick coffee to get around where I live. Um, so I like experimenting with coffee. That was long before the show. And I would always buy like different types from different places. And so that's what it is. But sometimes though, I'll brew it. So I'm one of those people that you just said, like, how can you do that? Sometimes I'll brew it and I'll be like 2 hours into my day and I'll be like, crap, I didn't even have my cup of coffee yet because it just gets crazy like that for me. Even though I work from home, that's the funniest part. It's just like I'll get on a call and I didn't grab the coffee. I'm like, all right. But
My sister Jan is the same way. Like, oh, I need coffee hot, and this is me because I'm going to be very what's that word? Where I would tell my sister, "You're a fake coffee drinker. How do you start your day? How do you even think of leaving
a
the house
poser. She's a poser. So am I guess.
without having your cafe?" Like it doesn't like. And then I hate when I make coffee and then they don't drink it like right away. Like coffee's supposed to be sipped on, drink right when it's hot, when it's freshly made. I will dump out any coffee. Like if I go back after the show and there's coffee left in my little dripper thing, I empty it. I throw it out. I brew a fresh pot, but that's me. But because it's me, I don't like don't ask me to make you coffee. Like Donnie across the street is on punishment. And the weekends I bring him coffee. And twice I went over there and the coffee was still sitting in the thing and I threw it out, rinsed my cup and went home. I said, don't ask me for coffee for a while. Like I take it that personal. It's
Well,
like
listen, here's the cool thing is that when you start your coffee cart, you're going to know it's freaking fresh because she's not going to let stuff sit there for too long. That's the beauty of it, everybody. So I can't wait till you open. I'm going to have to get my ass down there. We're going to have to do a live broadcast right at that moment.
we'll be out on the
Well,
road.
listen, as Shabil says, my husband drinks the same coffee for hours. He will reheat and reheat. Or he does drink it black with no sugar. Oh God, that's even kind of worse though if it's black with no sugar.
You ever have black coffee? Like I drink black coffee for a minute, and after a while, when you go to dump it, it's like some of the grounds got through.
Oh,
Then you see it's dark on the bottom. But you know what? Again, different strokes for different folks.
that's right.
I'm very biased when it comes to my cafe con leche. And especially if I make you, because when I make coffee, I make it with love. Like you feel all my magically orgasmic going into it because it's made with love, because I love coffee and I'm making you a cup of coffee and I want you to taste the best coffee. So when you don't drink it, whoo, Jekyll and Hyde, my gente. Jekyll and Hyde.
Hey, good morning, Eliza. Eliza's here this morning. Yay. So a couple of things too. We're going to do our set our intention, do our mantra, but we also signed the channel up for, now I have no idea how this works. I'm just telling you. So we signed Viva Cafe con Leche up for stars. So I think you like buy stars. I don't know how this works. I has no money. I don't think it's a money transaction, but you could send us stars. I don't know. So if you know, then do it and let us know what it means. But we were trying to sort of get the channel like monetized, and you have like certain criteria that you do. One of the things they have coming up is they want us to broadcast live Facebook feeds, a certain amount per week, for us to earn some money. And really it's because we got to put it back in. We have expenses for Viva. And so and that's been coming out of our pocket. So we want to make sure that those expenses go back in for like the broadcasting, like this StreamYard that we use and all that stuff. Good morning, Arlene Gonzalez. So, but if you know what the stars, like how that works, then either message us or just put it into the chat, because I really don't know. And I keep seeing this thing popping up on mine saying, send 200 stars to pin your comments here.
Yes,
I don't even really know what it means.
There's this lady here in Florida. She does the tarot reading. And the minute you go on her live, it's like, Gladiator Guru, would you like to send some stars? And I'm like, first of all, how do I get stars? Do I gotta pay to send them? So I'm just
I
in
don't
the
know.
dark as you are. And Arlene Gonzalez, woo, we go way back in Bridgeport. Are you still in Orlando area, Arlene? And Liza reheats her coffee several times. Please, mi gente, what I'm gonna say is how you choose to drink your coffee is how you choose your men, right? It's totally up to you. I have no say in it. But please do not reheat your coffee in styrofoam cups.
Oh yeah, well that's not good for you anyway. That's actually
Yeah.
quite bad for you.
So I know somebody who would reheat her the large Dunkin' Donuts thing, and when I went to my niece's house, I'm like, "What are you doing? You're adding poison on top of dirty water, and it's just not
Yeah, that's actually quite bad for
good."
you.
Yeah, but
Liza and Bernie sent stars. So again, we still don't know what it means. Thank you, Bernie. We don't know what it means, so somebody has to tell us. All right, so let's do our intention because we got a great conversation today, don't we, Gladiator Guru? What do you think?
yes, we do.
Yeah, Arlene says she's still over there.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay, Edith says Google it. Okay, I'm gonna do that right this moment. I'm
Wow,
gonna
that's
Google
something.
it in the midst of the broadcast. Thanks. I'll do it after Edith. Okay. So we were hoping that you would do some work, but that's all right. Okay, so the intention for today, as always, is to be intentional and
Grateful.
yes, absolutely intentional and grateful. And our mantra, get ready to repeat.
Let's do this.
I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
Spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
I am magically orgasmic.
And
Ole!
and I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it real, mi gente. To start this beautiful day.
Yes, to talk about what the F happened. That is the topic for today. So the topic for today is what the F happened. What happened with we're in our third month of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back at your lives, right? Looking back at everything that's been going on lately, but even your whole entire life and the last 3 months, where are you? Like what we mean by what the F happened is the fact that it's been 3 months already. This always happens. We're in January. We're like, oh, it's a new year and it's happy and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's like 3 months later. And then all of a sudden it's 6 months later. And before we know it, the things that we said we would do, it's like long past. So we're checking in. And it's a reminder too, for those of you that have never done a vision board, we're not doing one on the show. However, we are encouraging you to do a vision board, whatever way you want to do the vision board, because Liza is coming on in June, about midway through the year, to check in to see where you are on your vision board. And even if your vision board just consists of a list of things that you want to achieve this year, in this 12-month period, but we're going to do a check-in on this. So if you haven't done one yet, do it. Or at least make your goals, set your goals for what you would like to achieve by the end of the year. And then we'll check in on you when we're on with Liza. And then in addition to that, we also want to remind everybody that we've started doing the Viva is now on Clubhouse. We still had an issue. We really wanted to do it live as we're doing it right now to get another group of audience too, aside from our fabulous tribe. We want to add to our tribe. But it's a rebroadcast. So whatever we're doing right now is getting broadcast. So if you're listening on Clubhouse, it is not live. However, you're listening to it live, and we're doing that because we could not figure out how to do Clubhouse simultaneously. We were getting a lot of feedback. There's got to be a way to do it, but we just haven't figured it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we will at some point, and we will set it for that time. But meanwhile, though, and if you are a Clubhouse person, if you're on Clubhouse, subscribe to the Viva channel and then share it. There's rebroadcasts there, so you could share it with people in Clubhouse as well. So we would really greatly appreciate that. Good morning, Ana Laura. Ayala Mendez. I love it.
Ana Laura. I'm watching you, girl. She's been doing a lot of lies, my beautiful girl.
And Wanda Stover from Georgia, my Southern Belle.
Good
She
morning,
is on
Wanda.
today. All right. So, oh, Gladiator Guru, did you purposely turn yourself off? Yeah, she must have. Did you purposely do that?
Mm-mm. You know, I have this mouse that is very I just want to move it out the way, so I gotta be careful because it has all the buttons on the side.
Okay. All right. So, and Ruthie's on. Good morning, Ruthie. Okay, so let's talk about it. We want you to check in. We want you to be honest. We want you to put in the comments. How is it so far for these 3 months? What did you set into motion in January that you are still working on or that you have fallen short? What have you set into motion years ago with your life that you feel like you have fallen short and that you almost feel like, why bother? Because I said I was going to do that years ago. You know, what one thing we have learned over the years is not over the years, but one thing that we have learned is that over this pandemic situation, people are thinking outside the box. We interviewed a guy that's going to come on the show in June, and he literally just walked away from his job. He's like, I'm done. He was in the business for 30 years, which he must have started young because he's not a an old guy.
No,
And he just took off and traveled. That was it. He said, the hell with this. And he's like, I'm going to live my life now. And there's a lot of people that are coming to this idea. You know, we're realizing that life is not stable. We don't know what's coming around the corner, but rather than sit and wait or say tomorrow, we're just jumping into it and going for it. So the question is what is it that you're doing? What is it you're not doing? What did you set for this year? And what the fuck happened if you aren't doing it? Let's talk about this. Let's see. Kathy says, my husband and I have a vision board. This is the first time we have done one together. That's fabulous. I am still working with it. I did my first vision board last year. Nothing was attached. Now that one is in a beautiful bowl. I need to review it. I love that you're doing it together. I have a client that he and his girlfriend did one together, and it's really, when you have a significant other or just a friend, best friend, when you do it together, that definitely helps because you hold each other accountable for it. So let's see. Let's see what Liza says. I'm branching out of the 9-to-5 lifestyle. Good for you. That's so not you anyway, Liza. That is, I've known you long enough. That's just so not, that doesn't serve your soul. Anna says, I'm setting my boundaries on others, not allowing people to take me for granted. So I've been losing lots. All right.
good. Hi, Janet, my beautiful
Janet in the house. Good morning, Janet. All right. So for me, I don't know. What do you think for you, Gladiator Guru? I know for me, I took that trip to Costa Rica, and I tried to get out of that trip. I tried numerous times to get out of that trip because I just didn't, I was still playing, I was holding back, and if it wasn't for my sister, thank goodness. And I've said this before, that she pushed me to go and she got me to go. Like she gifted the trip. So I'm grateful to that because I did say to myself that if I pull out of the trip, that's going to set the precedence for the year. But if I go, that's going to set the precedence for the year. And so I went and I saw and I opened myself up to possibilities that I didn't even consider before. And now my vision board actually has changed. I was starting to put my vision board together in January, and it does. Sometimes it takes a couple of months. That's why some people do start towards the end of the year, but it's changed, and that's the beauty of it, because and vision boards can be flexible. You don't have to just put something into place. That's why Gladiator Guru, you talk about how you're not a big fan of the New Year's resolution, which I'm not either. But you're not a big fan of the New Year's goal because any time of the year is a new year. Any time of the year you can start. Yes.
And every day is a new day, and we forget that. We You know, just think about our ancestors in the beginning of time. There was no clock, there was no calendar. You know, you just had this instinct about it, and you knew you had to make a change, or you had to change direction because you listened to that inner conversation, that inner superhero speaking to you. And what are we doing today? Everything's on a clock, everything's on a calendar. We're like robots. And then people get offended when they say that, but we're like robots. So start, you know, start dressing inside out. And with that comes clarity, confusion, clarity, confusion, and you meet your objective. When you start dressing inside out, stop looking outward for things. And that's my reason. And I don't believe in a New Year's resolution. I think it has to happen quarterly. Every 3 months, revisit your life. It's accessible to you. It's fresh. What's working, what didn't work. If you drag it out, everything gets mushed in. So I think quarterly, when you sit down, what the fuck happened in these last 3 months? And it could have been something great. Or it's a reminder of what needs to get changed. Like, what was your 3 top things, Badass Buddha, that you wanted to see either initiated or completed within the 3 months, or get it started within that 3 months? What?
Most of it was my business. So my business took a hit last year. So what I wanted to see was it all pulling up. Number one was the clarity, which I definitely gained. There's no question about that. The other one was the business, to see more clients coming in, more getting myself out there more.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, with the clients coming in, was the finances going up. And what I've seen so far, the finances are still struggling, challenged. The clients are slow, but I'm getting out there for sure. So I have a big presence on Clubhouse now, not through the Viva Club so much, but other clubs. I'm doing a lot of workshops, free workshops every week. Every week I have a free workshop. So I'm getting people to sign up for those things and the workshops, and I'm getting a lot of feedback. And then the other one was the book, actually. So with a little more than 3, is getting the authors signed up for her Badass Story Volume 2, which the deadline is the end of March. And so I started with a new publisher. So I got a new publisher and for that. And so, yeah. And so far, so good. So far, so good. Little slower than I had hoped, but I think part of it was that I went away, and, you get into that vacation mode. And how about you?
Okay. Well, that's great what you've accomplished, because you said it with such ease and comfort. So, am I okay to say that you are where you visioned yourself to be?
A little behind, just a little bit, but not. Yeah, I'm not too bad though, which is great, which is fabulous considering how rough my year was last year towards the end.
See, now and that's what we need to hear, because the reality is, no matter how perfect you plan something, not it doesn't matter how you got everybody to synchronize with you and put every egg in the basket according to plan. It doesn't always have to be that way. You gotta leave room for errors, right? You gotta leave room for, what if one of them cracks, or what if one of them is delayed? So it's okay, because delay doesn't always mean a setback. It just means it's giving you a little more time to prepare before you launch. There's so many ways at looking at it. When something's not for you, it's not for you. When it's for you, but you're rushing it, you get held back. So never look at anything in your vision board or how you view your years passing as a setback or a failure. There's always a reason. I'll wait for her to come back to so I'll read some of the comments. Kathy says travel is on our vision board, and we are in the process of setting up 2 trips to Galveston, Texas with our kids, in Hill Country for our anniversary in June. That's amazing. Galveston, Texas. Beauty says, I'm not letting myself be bullied or controlled by anyone anymore. Family and friends, setting boundaries, regaining my confidence, getting healthy, and loving me again. And hi, sis. Love you. Love you too. I got both my sisters on today. It's Connie and Janet. There's three of us. I'm the middle sister. So Connie was the more get it together, organized to no fault. And then Janet was the worry one, always worried about us and everything. And then I was the one that's like, oh, let's sneak out the house from the second floor apartment. So, and Chanel, building generational wealth. And you know what? And I think that we're all right. Yeah. Well, you know what? Are we really losing, Anna? I think when we decide to show up for ourselves and other people don't like the change in us, that's how you know we're making a good change. So, and I think that, are we really losing, or are we really just saying adios to something that needed to be removed long ago? But because we carry that kindness in our hearts and we carry forgiveness to an extent, we tend to say, let me just give it one more try. Or maybe they were going through something, and we need the first thing we need to do in order to move on in life is stop looking for excuses for other people, because they have their own cross to bear as we do. So we need, as long as we focus on living correctly and carrying the kindness in our hearts and the gratitude for being able to acknowledge that and move on with your life, because people are going to be people. Shit, there are going to be days where we're not feeling at our best, or we're going to have to come and apologize later on. But the bottom line is that we acknowledged it and we are apologizing, because it is not something that anyone else should bear because we were having a bad time. So that's how we got to look at the outside too. That's why this topic was, what the F happened, getting dressed inside out. Because all the things that we carry in our exterior are things that we don't even, it's like we're that Velcro that just attaches, and then it gets all this white thread on it and everything. And sometimes, instead of trying to figure it out with this, always trying to feel what maybe, and overthinking, and then making poor choices, because then our heart is sending a different message. Feed your spirit. When you feed your spirit kindness, gratitude, self-trust, you know what? There are going to be days where you need to get dressed inside out and wear those emotions like your armor on the outside. Because sometimes we keep it inside so much and they're like barricaded in there. So then we make poor choices here. Nurture that spirit. Get dressed inside out. Have it be your armor and let it detect what's good for you and what's not, because you own that already. You own that. El bendito es el mano de jódete. I've heard that all my life growing up. We can't pity people. Plus, do you want to be pitied? Then we can't. El ay bendito, well, maybe they're going to get it right. It's not about being selfish and wanting everything for you, or expecting people to come up to you and bend to what you want. It's about being selfish to a point where you're going to respect and honor who you are, value all of your core assets, be that moral compass for yourself of what you will tolerate, what you will accept, and what you need to put in the dumpster. And when we come to that, you know what, then we fully understand who we are, and we're not racking our brains trying to understand somebody else for who they are, because that's not our business. And that's what gives us all the added drama, the weight on our shoulders. Good morning, Argenis. So we were going through some of this before I went on to mine.
Yeah, I know. I was listening. I started to take my phone with me while I'm out there with her. So I was hearing you. Okay, great.
Yeah. Open to the divine.
Hey, listen, you have to read it out loud. You can't just read it to your...
because
other people are listening. They're like, what's that long pause?
Enjoying life and having fun, loving life in the most meaningful ways, and sharing the bounty. These areas are unlimited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is how we live our lives already, open to the divine. Amen
Yep.
to that.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna read mine. You heard the badass Buddha, so keep on sharing. Anybody has anything good they want to share, remember what is for you. You know, I listened to something and people always say keep silent about um the moves you're making because people are haters and that negative energy will come and they'll take it away. And I always thought, I try to always find a medium in things, but I'm not. I go to the opposite spectrum and I say, you know what, what's for me is for me. And if it's for me, it's because God gave it to me. So who can take it from me? But then I heard this pastor speak, and this is what he said, and I was like, I got it. It's not so much be afraid that the enemy's gonna have that much control over you. And that was my problem. I don't like thinking anybody has control over me, whether it be, my God or the devil, angels, or demons. I like to say, well, I have a life and I have a life force and I have a spirit and a soul. And why do they think they can come take what's mine? Okay, so then I'm listening to this pastor, and he's saying, we are all gifted. We are all handed a gift in life. And in its infancy, we must protect it.
Mm. Nice.
We must not share it with the world, whether it's your business, I think it's especially your business, your happiness in a new relationship. He's like a new baby. You got to keep it to yourself when it's in its infancy, because then it also, once it's out of its infancy, then it's gained its own protection mode.
Yeah.
Then he went as far as to say, as when the infancy was like when Jesus was born and they sent for all the newborns or to some age to be murdered because they were so afraid of this boy. And that's how the reality, here's this pastor saying, is the reality is when we begin something new, the badass, myself, and Laura, Kathy, all of you's on here, it's in its infancy. And when we are so passionate about something, people are afraid that we're going to outgrow them.
Yes, for sure. That's
So
where the sabotage comes in.
they will sabotage, whether it's secretly hating on you, any means necessary for you not to succeed if you're going to outgrow them, or outgrow them in any way sense. People who are insecure think that, oh, if you do something that you're good at, then you're not going to want them as a friend, or you're going to be better. However the case that stupid people think. So that's what that says. So Anna, I totally understand what you're saying, but you still gotta, we still gotta keep going, whether it's vision. I can't do vision boards. I can't even keep a freaking to-do list. I'll make a to-do list thinking I'm keeping myself organized. I put it in my purse. I go to the store. I never even look for the list. Then I'll find it a couple days later saying, oh shit, that's what I went to the store for and I forgot. That always happens. Anywho, I'm not gonna change. So what it is, how was it that I got dressed inside out these last 3 months? In the beginning, if we go back to the first show, my conversations with the badass Buddha, I told her that this 2022 was about me seeking happiness and living in gratitude, because that was the way I knew that I was going to heal. And it still is. And traveling down that healing boulevard, there's potholes, there's going to be traffic. And then there are going to be days where it's ebb and flow, where you're just streaming down with the windows down and your hair's rustling in the wind. Healing's a tricky little fucker. But that's the road that I've been on. So some days I'm good, because there was last couple weeks, I've been focused. I've been valuing my talents. And that's what we don't do enough of either. We think we got to work with this or whatever and follow the trend. I've been valuing my talents. I've been creating amazing pocketbooks, hand painted, hecho a mano. Yeah. And they were phenomenal. They're phenomenal. But then I had those days where I wanted to just leave everything and become a nomad. And Anna knows me for 20 something years, where I said I have to buy another backpack to keep around. And I told Badass Buddha, I just want to just backpack and just leave, and just leave somewhere I don't know with the money I don't have, and just live. And then I'll wake up a couple days later and I'm like, okay, I got to make labels. I got to get the bags ready. And then I'm back. And that's, you know what? That's me getting dressed inside out and allowing myself to feel all these emotions, to live them, those moments that I get them, to just feel them and to allow them to flow through me. That's the ebb and flow of life.
sure.
And if you
Yep.
choose to seek happiness and live in gratitude, it's not all rainbows and sunshines. There's going to be those stormy days or weeks, but you got to take them so that you can then go back to what you were supposed to do. Life isn't supposed to be easy. Life isn't supposed to be happy every day. You know, no rain, no flowers. That's how it is. No light. How are you going to chase the darkness away? If you don't have darkness, how are you going to appreciate the light? We can go on with all this shit all the time. So that's what it is. Given time, it's time. Your time on your clock. Not my time on the badass Buddha's clock, nor is it her time on mine. So those were my three. It's continuing to seek happiness and live in gratitude of what I have in my now, with probably $19 in my bank account. And I'm like happy, because that means I don't have an overdraft. But that's just for today. Valuing my talents. God gave us all talent to do something, and then we think it's not important and we think it's a hobby. Well, let me tell you something. You better value your talents, because hobbies are pretty fucking expensive to maintain. So get something out of it, right? And then travel down your healing boulevard. We all have different roads in different cities, in different states, in different countries. Travel your own damn healing boulevard. You're going to leave people behind. You're going to lose people in the process, but you're going to gain the spirits that are supposed to travel your lifetime with you. Is it worth it? Yeah. Is it hard? Of course. What's easy? Easy. And that's what I have to say right now for this.
You know, you said something pretty key. You're talking about how 1 minute you're talking about living the nomad life, and then the next day you wake up and you're putting labels on stuff. And I think the beauty of it is that if someone comes to that conclusion about themselves when they're on total opposite ends of themselves, that tends to make them either stay still and do neither, or pick one. And the interesting thing is, you don't need to pick one. You know, Gladiator Guru and I were talking about this, right? And she was telling me how she's been feeling, and especially lately, I think you've been verbalizing it a lot more. So I think that push and pull is coming out, right? And so she's like, you know, sometimes I just love my little house, and I love it's such a beautiful space. And there's other times where I just want to get the hell out and just like not even look back. And then she goes, and then the coffee cart. And I said, well, who's to say you can't do that all? Like, who's to say you can't set all this up and always have that house there so that you can come back to when you feel like you need to take a rest? But who says you can't be a nomad? Who says that you can't go out for 3 months at a time and then come back in and rest your feet? Create the coffee cart, put that together, set up that business so that you get somebody else to be working it and it runs itself, and you're making money and you can travel. Like, that's the thing. It's like what she's talking about is she went from inside out. She looked at what she was wanting on the inside, who she was on the inside, and then pushing that outside, like bringing it out. Don't hold back, even if you're opposing your own self. Like if it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I like this, but I also like this. Then make it work. Like, you can figure out a way to make it work, because any part that we hold back on ourselves, it chips away at our spirit. It chips away at our soul. And I know this from experience, you know, And is it possible to fix it? If you've chipped away, is it possible to fix it? Yes. Yes. But the thing is, you'll always have in the back of your mind, had I done this sooner, blah, blah, blah. And so you have to be careful with the repair. When you're repairing that chipped, soul, you have to let go of the fact that you didn't do it sooner. There must have been a reason that you didn't do it sooner. So you're here and now, right? And you're just moving forward and saying, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it now. So really dig in deep, really look at it and say, what has happened in the last 3 months? What have I done for myself? What did I say that I wanted and is not, hasn't happened yet? Or I said this and I'm doing this and I'm living this, and that's fabulous. Celebrate that. Acknowledge the challenges that you've had, but celebrate the wins that you've had. Maybe it's a small win. Maybe it's just like, oh, I actually said no to somebody, like one person who I've always had a hard time saying no to. That's beautiful. Don't say, oh, I didn't do this or that. Just say, hey, I did this. Okay, so what does that mean for you? And revisit it. You could start like Gladiator Guru says, check in every quarter. Liza always said we would have conversations, and Liza said, you just start over. Like if you set an intention for a day and you say, I want my day to go like this, and that day is not working out that way, then hit the restart, start it over.
And you can.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We categorize ourselves. Oh my God, if I didn't do it at the beginning of the year, then I'm going to have to wait till the end of the year. And I think that's an excuse, especially when it comes to things like the weight loss.
You eat a piece of cheesecake, take some tea, the next day start over. Because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
But what the blessing there's no failure. Failure is when you quit.
Yes.
But we're human. We have an abundance of emotions, and half of them get away on us. And that's why, we fall back, we make a poor decision. But I think that exactly, and thank you for sharing what Liza said. We have the beautiful power of consuming our ass into a masterpiece. So when you have those chips in your soul and you don't know what to do, you're broken, and now you want to just, when people are like, how are you? I'm fine. Well, I learned a long time ago that stands for freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Yeah, you be fine over there. Then that shit over here. So, like kintsugi, the Japanese art, when they break something, they break a vase or a cup, then they would put it back together, filling it with gold. So it becomes even more beautiful after it broke. With the repairs that was done, the repairs was done with love and gold, and now it tells a story. That's what we are. We're storytellers. So if you have never been through anything and you lived a comfortable life, or you never had any wants, so you never had any failures, people think leaving a legacy is leaving money and property for their grandkids. Grandkids never have to work. No, let them fuckers work. They have to learn the value of life when you work. When you have a storyline and you tell stories, whether verbally, you write in your journal, or you publish a book, that's leaving a legacy. You ever see movies and people are lost, and then they find your dad's journal or something, or everything he wrote, and all of a sudden they got further than where their father went, right?
I love those movies, by the way.
Exactly. And so that's what we are in life. So never be afraid, never be ashamed, never feel like you're less than anybody. You are living the life you were born to live, with the spirit to guide you to do that. So if you want to sit back and try to fit into everybody else's lifestyle, try to say, well, so-and-so have X amount of followers, so let me do what they're doing so I can get that's your choice and that's your life. Just don't come complaining to me, because I'm going to hurt your feelings. So be who you were born to be, and then be better. And that's how you leave a legacy for the future yous to be born again. And that's how we do it. That's how you value who you are.
This is how we do it.
And the divine. And how are you giving gratitude to your higher power? if you're not living your best life. And your best life isn't money and cars and houses. And like Badass Buddha said, I love my little house. I have a little wood house, and it's just a masterpiece. And my art is hanging all over it, and I love it, and I feel good. And all my life, I've been a wanderer. All my life, I've had that gypsy spirit. I've lived in LA at 16. I stood a stint of time in Phoenix. I lived in Miami. I lived in Orlando twice. I go home. I've traveled to the other side of the world, and I'll be gone from this house since I've been here months on end. And I always come back, and it's always a warm embrace from my casa. Mi casita misses me. I walk through it. I talk to it. But because of my spirit, I know I do need to travel, and I need to do different things in life, because I need to do it for the life that I am living, so that my granddaughters can grow up and say, I had the craziest grandmother, but I'm going to follow her path, because that's what I want to be when I grow up.
That's right. Yeah, because you don't play small. I think that's really what it comes down to. If you're asking yourself what the F just happened over the last 3 months, then the real question we need to ask ourselves, are we playing small? Like, did we decide that in the end of last year that, 2022 is going to be different and I'm going to be a different person? You can't do things differently if you're waking up doing the same thing every day. You have to do something different. And so I put on mine, I didn't do a vision board. What I did was I took my whiteboard and I wrote down everything. And this is funny because I've done this before, but for some reason it looks different this year. And I'm looking at it, and I have like my goal weight on there, how I want my body to be, my health, my lifestyle, my mental, emotional, spiritual, social, financial. And I'm looking at it and I question myself, right? So I'm looking at my goal weight and I say, okay. And then the body, like how I want my body, my physical body to be. And I'm looking at that going, okay, how do I achieve that? Right? We have to start with the what and the why. Sometimes the how will appear, but here's the reality. I'm looking at it right now going, that is unattainable if I do not change my habits during the day. So if I'm seated most of the day, how am I going to achieve that goal? Because I'm looking at it going, okay, and it's in my face, and it's in my face. And I keep saying to myself, if I want to be flexible, if I want to be limber, if I want to be strong, then I have to get my body to be that way. Sitting down is not going to do it. So I've been doing a lot of standing up during the day. Like I'll sit right now, but then I'll do a lot of my stuff, a lot of my work standing up. I've been working out. I've been doing this. I've been finding time to do it because that is the only way that's going to be achieved. And so, but the reason it's there in front of me is because it's to remind me, it's to check in, because that's the thing that I was not doing last year. Was I really wasn't checking in with myself because I didn't want to, because I knew I wasn't on track, and I knew, and I also was, I had on there a different set of goals. I had like business goals, reach this per month and blah, blah, blah. That wasn't connecting with me. So this is different. I'm looking at this. I read it every day. I feel it every day. I'm reminding myself of things that I'm supposed to do every day. And I love it. What made it different? I guess it was just having to go from that bad place at the end of the year to letting go and being open to the good stuff. So like Gladiator Guru says, it's like, you don't know the good until you know the bad, until you've seen the bad. You don't know the light until you've been in the dark. And, we have those moments. Do I want to go back to that place? Do I want to have that happen periodically to remind myself? No, I'd like to think that from this point going forward, I will just keep reminding myself of this positive stuff so that I keep myself in check. I keep myself from drifting off into those places. Plus, there's other factors that have been screaming loudly to me to make sure that I'm looking at this every day and I'm living that life. So with that,
it's good. I think I wanna when Liza comes on, because my daughter and my son-in-law are Janice. I don't know if he's still on. They did a couple's
vision board
party, at their house, and they were like so excited. And when I was at their house the other day, they each have them on their sides of the beds, which is even more incredible. And then my son-in-law scratched one of the, he accomplished one of the things, and I think he did the vision board 2 months ago. And I don't know if he's on, if he wants to talk about it, but it's, something really huge that he set his mind to do within that time frame, and he accomplished it. And so just looking at them do that. Now my daughter, she's a bit more like me, like whatever, we're gonna make it happen because we want it to happen, and boom, it is. If it doesn't happen, oh well, on to the next year. We don't got time to be wasted, right? And so I'm seeing that in them, and it's really great. It's a good feeling when you can accomplish something that you believe that you want to do. And I think, and that's what it is. And when we stop comparing ourselves to who else did something and
Yes.
where they're at in their lives and what level they're at, and when we value and honor who we are, and when we realize, because we've done it, now don't do it and then fake yourself, lie to yourself, no te engañe, that we've exhausted our options to complete what we set out to do, and it doesn't work for us, then you got to ask the universe. And I guess I chose this and I ignored where the signs were leading me, because we do that a lot. We think we know better sometimes, and we know it's a tug and pull, and you're wondering, why is this so difficult? Because you're not supposed to be there, damn it. Get back on track, right? But when it happens, then, and you've exhausted everything to get there, then you will be fulfilled. But always follow your destiny. And what I've seen,
Hi, Chanel.
what I've seen in a lot of people is they're trying to compete half the time with people they don't know, they just heard of, but they're trying to compete with someone else because you might have similarities. But guess what? You're still not that essence. You're not that spirit. We are all born to accomplish something in this life. And you know what? The worst thing, the worst case scenario is that you reach your deathbed and you're like, oh shit, I should have went that way years ago. We're still at that age that we can get up and move on our own and do things on our own. Then guess what? Let's start figuring out what's your purpose. And you find that when you really bask in your moment of whatever it is you're doing, and you just feel like this immense peace and happiness, and it's effortless. And when that happens, you're gonna have roadblocks, because you know what? There's always something to remind you to fight for what you have. When you're in that moment where everything is effort and nothing's like that hard, do it. Follow your destiny. You can do it.
Nice.
I became a coffee roaster on my back porch.
That's great. Whatever you decide to do. And with that, so while we have a couple of minutes left, we just want to remind all of you that, you can buy products. There are things you can buy, Viva merch. You can buy coffee from Gladiator Guru. We have services. Don't hesitate to look us up and share with us. We specialize in different stuff. I'm also looking for authors. If you're ready to share your story and you want to become a part of this book, this is going to be released in the end of June. And this one, we're going to make it even bigger. We're going to add more authors. So definitely message me if you're interested. We're going to have on March 17th, we're going to have a call to bring in, it's a virtual call to get authors to see what it's all about, and to get people to sign on. It is by this time, we're upping the game a little bit. It's by application. So we have to look at the stories. We really want to up the game with the stories too. So and there's limited seating available. Speaking of March 17th, we have our the start of her Badass Story book tour. Gladiator Guru and I will be in Bridgeport on Barnum Avenue. We've posted it. We're starting to post it for an intimate get together. You will get a signed autograph book from us. It comes with refreshments. We have refreshments. We're going to chat. We're going to read. We're going to have lots of laughs, and it's from 6 to 8 on March 17th. And you have to pre-register. And we're going to be giving away prizes. So we're going to have raffles, and it's all part of the ticket for you to come in. And we would appreciate your support. If you already have a book, then bring somebody along with you, and then you can always give them, or you could share the book. How's that too? That's another thing, is even if you already have a book, if you want to come anyway, the book that you get, you can always share one of the books, and we would appreciate that. So,
Yes, we would.
and Milagros is saying, I'm ready. Yes, because Milagros is the first one to sign up for her Badass Story Volume 2. So we're so happy. We're so happy. So,
put your .com. I put mine, margarita.com, on there if anybody wants to look at it. I have to reboot my page, but you'll see me. And Badass is gonna do it. Milagros, yes, that's wonderful. You know, I think women need to form a bond and support one another. I mean, I could be making coffee and you can be over there creating the next spaceship, but I'm gonna see you at my level as you will see me at your level, because we are women striving to be the best at what we do best. And that's where the honor comes in, to be a part of that tribe. And that's what we have to do. And you know what? Because I never consider myself better than anybody nor beneath anybody. And I just think, you know, more power to the woman that reaches her success, that is on her path towards her God-given success. Because guess what? Then we're going to have great communication skills, because we're focused on what we have to do, and we're honoring the woman next to us who is also focused on what she has to do. And that only enriches our lives. When we're stuck and we have a question, guess what? We can have that, right? We have that in common. Don't give up. You got this. Those are the most powerful words when women are achieving their goals and looking at alongside one another. Hey, you got this, Laura. That's right. So with that.
All right. So we're at the end. On Thursday, we're going to have two fabulous ladies, and we're going to be talking about, we have Jill Kerr and Dawn Cermak from Hey Taxi, the Hey Taxi community. And we're going to be talking about rectifying our existence, which is actually quite a powerful topic, because we're going to take it into all elements on that conversation. Gladiator Guru and I were prepping for it, and we were talking about it. And this is an important topic, because we're going to be it's really about the struggles that we have had. So we're going to be talking about women in history and how we are working at it today. And what are we doing for ourselves today? So we hope that you join in for Thursday's conversation. And we thank you so much for coming on, everybody. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from Margarita, the Gladiator Guru, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.